Marshmallow Fanboy, back with another action figure review. This time a Power Rangers Lightning Collection Remastered Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger, Kimberly. This is a figure that I was not going to get. I have the first editions of all the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in all of their various colors, and when I saw the prices on these, they were $30, $35, and I thought, I'm not going to spend, gosh, almost 75% more than I spent on the originals to get remastered versions. I knew they had different portraits and they had effects and they were very cool, but I wasn't going to do it. Mostly because I grew up in a generation that had like VHS tapes, and then we switched to DVDs, and then we switched to Blu-rays, and now we've switched to digital. It's always hard to kind of replace a collection and go, okay, well, I'm not going to have VHS anymore. It's going to be all DVD. And then once you get out of that, you're like, okay, it all has to be Blu-ray. So I don't need remastered figures. I don't need different versions of the thing that I already have, when the thing that I already have is super cool. But it was inexpensive. It was on sale, and I said, all right. It was one of those buy two get one frees, and she was my get one free. So I got it. So I don't have any complaints about it from that point of view. It was irritating to have another version. You know, we had a metallic version, we had a cell shaded version, and now we're getting a remastered version. And I get it. Hasbro wants to keep that figure out there so that fans can get a hold of it. But it's irritating for people who already have it, who are being asked to get it again. And I suppose they're not being asked, at gunpoint or anything, so it's kind of still your choice. But as this was my choice. But Kimberly was my favorite Power Ranger. She's writing a comic book series early next year, and so I'm excited. And I'm already got the Power Rangers fever again, so this was kind of a no-brainer. So I'm going to bust this thing open, and I'm going to look at the back, and of course you can see what it looks like. You can see the non-helmeted expression, and you can see the effects and all of the weapons, and you can see the morpher, which I don't think the original figure came with the morpher, but you can see it on the side and on the side here. The only thing I wish they'd made it is, if you have the Mighty Morphin Lightning Collection figures, you might have them sideways on a bookshelf. And I wish this package had sort of more conformed to that, so that you could have added it to your existing collection and it would have been seamless. But instead, it's an odd shape. It's a VHS shape, and the original was more of a DVD shape. It wasn't, but I'm trying to make a really dumb point. But let's break this thing out and see what it looks like in person. Okay, now that she's out of the box, let's take a closer look at Kimberly Hart, the Pink Ranger from the Remastered series of Power Rangers Lightning Collection. First, let's look at all of the accessories. There are, I don't know what these weapons are. I think this one is that one with the blade deployed. Maybe, like a little lightsaber, like this one is in its sheath, and this one's without the sheath. I'm not sure. And then there's a very cool helmet. Of course, it's the alternate head, so she could either have the helmet on or the portrait of Kimberly on, and that is really cool. She can also kind of hold that under her arm. I've seen that in some of the pictures. I have not been able to pull that off, but it's a really cool feature. It's shiny. It's very nice. And then there is the morpher itself, which I don't know if that's upside down. It could be upside down. I don't know. But it's very cool. Oh, I think that's upside down. Is that? Yeah, that looks more like a pterodactyl, I think. Okay, good. That's the Power Morpher. You can't really see any details in it. It has a very narrow sort of handhold on it. Let's see, that disappeared from view. There we go. Little handhold. And what it should have had was maybe just a clip that kind of slid over the hand so that you could attach it better. It might go to this hand. This might be the morpher hand, where maybe she turns it like this and the morpher goes on. Let me try that. Look at that. Holds the Morpher just perfectly, this hand. And it comes with the figure. It's Morphin time! It's very cool. Also comes with 3 other hands. Of course, the sort of the straight hand, a fist, and another straight hand. And of course, on her right now, she has the 2 open hands where she can hold things. Both open hands have, and I'll show you that in a minute. Let's go over some of the other accessories first. She comes with the bow, and she comes with an arrow. That was almost lyrical. She comes with a bow, and she comes with an arrow. Arrow. I don't know what something rhymes with arrow, probably. This is a blaster, but it occurs to me that it's kind of the same shape as these things. So maybe the blaster is an alternate deployment of this weapon. So these 3 things are all one weapon. All 3 of these things are one weapon, but they're just the different deployments of that weapon. So I don't know if you could put it in like that, but it's probably more correct to put it in the holster undeployed. I'm a fan. I just haven't watched the series in a decade. I probably should revisit it at some point, but I did watch the reunion movie on Netflix. I thought that was really good. And I'm planning to watch the new series with the original Rangers on Netflix when that comes out. And of course, I did pre-order Amy Jo Johnson's run on Power Rangers through Boom Studios as well. That's a little plug. So it also came with these effects. One, lots of crackle and energy, and the other, lots of crackle and energy. And it could have come from behind her, come from in front of her. It's a little bit of a hollow inside. It's heavy, so it's not easy to knock over or anything once you've deployed it. And then, of course, there is Kimberly herself. And the first is she has this new portrait, and it's a very good portrait. It's maybe not completely accurate, but it's not. It looks a lot like her. It looks it's at least very passable, I think. Gosh, I wish I had a picture of her. I could maybe relay that better. She's got the short hair in the back, which she had on the series. It was really nice. I'm not going to go over all the articulation. It's pretty much what you would expect. The butterfly joints and the double elbows, the mid-torso, or the... Gosh, I thought this line was a mid-torso rocker, but it is not. Oh, there is a mid-torso rocker. But there's also an ab crunch. So there's like a ton of mobility. Can't look up or down because of the neck post, side to side. See, of course, there's the slit in her uniform so she can kick higher. No slit on this side. No way to take the holster off, which is fine. Or thigh swivel, double knees. Let's see, the boot swivel, ankle hinge, and as always, ankle rocker is her articulation. So I like the belt. I don't know if I can zoom in on that, but very cool belt buckle. Has the pterodactyl, which is where I think the Morpher goes. The Morpher transforms her and then just is here on the belt so that she could transform back, I think. But it's a really cool, tiny logo. Super hard to see, but it's a little bit easier to see all blown up and really nicely lit and everything. So it's a very cool touch. I think the original probably had that too. I'm not going to dig through and find the old one. I was just like, well, I'm going to definitely add this, but I don't want to sort of subtract on the other one. I don't want to know if there are weaknesses in the original one, because, you know, if I do, I might have to get all of them, and I don't want to get all of them. I'm trying to be good. Okay, so this was absolutely, it was free. Like, it was buy 2 get 1 free, and I think I got the full Come Abominus from McFarlane Toys, and I got another. It was the Justice Buster. It was another Mega Fig. And both of those were already on sale, and then it was Kimberly was something like $30, and between the two and then her, it was like 60 for all of them, I think. It was something pretty reasonable that I thought was pretty reasonable. I was like, well, it brings everything down to 20, and that's kind of my threshold for figures that aren't G.I. Joe figures these days. So it was a great purchase. I don't regret it at all. It does add to the depth of my collection, and it does give me an option on whether to display this Kimberly or the other Kimberly. Also allows me to decide whether I want the helmet on or the helmet off. Some of the figures didn't have that option. They didn't come with a human portrait, like the cell shaded one and the metallic ones. So I appreciate a different sculpt to the face. I appreciate a different likeness. But with that said, it's a great figure. It's a great addition to my collection. And if you are starting a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers collection, the remastered figures are a great way to go. You don't have to go back to the past for the old figures, because these figures look like they're probably superior to those figures. There's probably more articulation. The pins are hidden. I don't know if the pins were visible on the other ones or not, but these are great figures. So until next time, enjoy your toys.